Hey man, what's up, Gabe? Long time no talk.
What's up, Frito? Good to see you, my man.
I know. We're friend. How long we known each other? 10, 15 years, 20 years?
I feel like it's getting close to 20, I think.
Yeah,
It's back when you and I were like PPC jockeys and doing SEM and SEO
and playing hoops at Leyva Middle School
and
too.
playing hoops. That's a common bond.
Exactly. So just in full transparency, you're my client also. We've been working together for quite some time, and you're someone in the industry who's very forward thinking and innovative. And honestly, these are interviews are just literally just came off the top of my head just last week. And I just thought to myself, who is out there that I could start talking to and just highlight and talk? I don't have a script. I don't have questions. I didn't send you anything. I just want to talk 15-minute conversation about what's going on in your world. We can go down the path of data and analytics or influencer marketing, or talk about some of the cool, activations that you've done recently at Automation Anywhere. So, tell me, what's going on? You're working from home, your team's remote, global. How are you guys managing all the engagement and marketing in general?
It's funny. It would seem maybe paradoxical or counterintuitive, but we're busier than ever. I think part of that is because of the industry that we're in, and automation being a solution for so many of the touch points right now in the pandemic, whether it's remote work, the influx of calls to call centers and call center handling, and case management, remote working. And just of course with things like the CARES Act here in the U.S. and various versions of that other foreign countries, involves tons and tons of paperwork, and so we're trying to build the solutions to help with those things, to get people the access to the information they need, and ultimately to the funds that they require to survive. This is a real thing. This is a little bit
Yeah.
different than just increasing ROI on you know invoice processing or something like that, right? Fundamentally that's what it ultimately is. But I think we as a company are really focused and dedicated to just trying to do whatever we can to help.
Yeah.
So
So
so that's been interesting. But the other thing, my wife works from home. She works for a startup as well, and she's also busier than ever.
really, I didn't know
Um,
that.
yeah, and they're barely out of beta, and they're busier than ever. I think part of that's interesting, which is, and you can tell me too, working from home as well. But I think it's interesting that um, some of the societal norms, whether it just be the commute time or other, lunchtime kind of flew out the window like 3 years ago. Like I have meetings from noon to one. Hell, I've had them with you, right? Um,
Hmm.
but I feel like there's kind of like no barrier, and of course, being a global lead for social marketing, of course, I've been doing this with sort of odd hours anyway. But it just seems like there's so much right now throughout the day, and then of course you have the parameters of like family, trying to get my teenage kids motivated to be productive, which is probably the hardest part of my
Yeah.
day. But yeah, it's really exciting. I actually just came off of I was watching a Zoom where we're doing a beta, an internal beta, what we're calling Project K, which is RPA for kids, and teaching them how to code, teaching them how to build bots.
Hmm.
We have a great developer evangelist named Micah Smith, and you've probably seen his videos. You can see him on
I
LinkedIn.
have.
He does a lot of our illustrates and whatnot, and he's just absolutely brilliant on all levels, from a technical
Yeah.
perspective, from a people perspective. So I was just popping in and watching that. I'm sort of on the tiger team, if you will, behind the scenes of bringing it all together. And actually, I was watching it, and number one, Micah's great. The questions from the kids, the engagement from the kids, the enthusiasm from the kids, literally puts a smile on my face.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a cool thing, just sort of day to day. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a big shift.
Let me ask you this. So, again, we've been working together for about a year now. And over the last 12 months, we've been doing events. We had IA Day not too long ago with some pretty awesome influencers. How is that changing? So I realize that a lot of companies rely on customer events to get leads and drive engagement and announce products. What do you, Imagine is huge. You guys are having them globally, what, 6 or 7 a year? What are you doing to figure that? How are you amplifying that message? How are you getting that content out there without the in-person events?
Well, I think there's a couple of things that have happened with regards specifically to the in-person events. So clearly, we participate in the third-party events, or uh, trade shows and whatnot, and there are still some virtual versions of some of those. Um, what we've tried to do, and I think it's, I look back now and look at the work that we did together, and some of the things that we tried and tested, and then, sort of created a template or blueprint for. So I feel like, in many cases we're in pretty good shape. Certainly there's a lot of things that we can't do now that we were able to do with those, but I feel really good about the position we're in to be able to execute a digital experience for an event or for a virtual event. And again, that's largely based on, the work that, a lot of the work that we did together, a lot of the preparation we did via, obviously going heavy on the analytics, identifying the right folks to participate. And I think the key word is experience. So, for me, social media has always been the digitization of, what you and I would be doing if we were in person. That conversation, that interaction, how do you best digitize that so more people can join, or at worst be a voyeur too, right? But, sort of glean something from it. So, I think that approach fundamentally helps us. But from a tactical perspective, I think some of the challenges are from a production quality, right? I'm literally, here in my room. I don't have a home office like you, and you're a fancy guy. So, not everyone can be like Brito, but we all strive.
Hey, by the way, man, are you having Laker withdrawals? Because I'm certainly.
Dude, I miss basketball so much. I'm watching YouTube. I'm watching Instagram. I've got like workouts for the kids I'm trying to do with them. I want to set up a virtual, like a Facebook Live game of horse around the world. I just saw the NBA's doing that.
I saw that.
Similar. But yeah, man, I miss hoops so much. And right now, of course, with AAU, both our kids play AAU. Just being in the gym, I just miss it. I'm a junkie. I'm a gym rat.
Yeah. On that note, so what's going to happen with this? Do you know, with the season? Because we were leading, like we were first seed, and we might cancel the season. So how does that affect us, for next season? Also, I mean, because I honestly don't know. Like, is Anthony Davis going to re-sign with us? Because he only signed for a year. So do you have any idea what's happening there? Not like you're an NBA insider or anything, but I haven't had the time to do any research.
I'm not Wojnarowski, but I did talk to a couple of my peeps that have some inside information. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know, because something that's interesting is not just the seeding, but how does it affect the draft, right? Like who's going to get the pick? Are they just going to freeze it like with our kids' grades? It's like you pass or you fail, right? That is what they're doing in the school system here. That kind of stuff, I mean, that has a dramatic effect. Like, listen, I still haven't gotten over the veto of the Chris Paul trade way back in the day that set us in the downward path and set us down that spiral, right? But yeah, I'm confident that AD definitely resigns.
Yeah.
I think that, they were starting to play at a really high level, and LeBron was again just taking it to the next level, which is absolutely amazing. But another year on his body, whether he has rest or not, that concerns me a little bit.
I know. On Saturday, the ABC showed Game 7, 2010 conference finals. No, I'm sorry, NBA finals against the Celtics, and it was Game 7 where Gasol was just like dominating the boards, and just Kobe had a bad game shooting. He ended up scoring, I think, like 25, 30 points. But anyway, I'm with you, man. And hey, any last parting words?
He was like 6 for 24, right?
I think he was, yeah. So any last parting words for, again, I don't know where this video is going. I just, you're one of my very good friends and you're my client. So who's going to be watching this? I'm not sure. But for anybody who is, any last parting words as we close?
The only thing I could really say is, I hope everyone's, staying safe, staying healthy. I've actually just, I told my team the other day, so, it's been raining here in the Bay Area quite a bit. The other day, the sun popped out, and as I mentioned before, it seems like I saw one of our good friends, right, Courtney Smith, Kramer, Brian Kramer's wife, right? Mm-hmm. I saw a post from her where she said, I feel like everything's just one long day, and there's just light parts and dark parts, and I feel like that's true. But I had just told my team recently, I said, listen, every day you got to take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I don't care how long it is, but just go stand in the sun and just close your eyes and just chill for a second. Just think positive. Like, and if everybody does that, and be just one small thing to help you get through this, because there's so many different stresses on, family, all these different things, and not knowing is always the toughest, right? Not knowing when we're getting out of this, not knowing who's got it, not knowing, I always find that, the lack of information is what causes the most stress, right? And so that's why I loved, having worked with you for the last year, and the approach that we took was based on analytics to know as much as possible,
Yeah.
and even try to predict. But just knowing, is good. Knowing that you can at least take a minute to have a smile in the sun,
Yeah.
I highly recommend it.
Yeah. I'm just waiting any day now for that zombie apocalypse, man. I'm telling you, it's bound to happen. Just given
How
where we
many
are.
how many times do you walk down like if you go for a walk, or like I live close to the school, you're walking through the school and it looks like you're like, man, this is a scene from Walking Dead, or this is a scene from
Dude,
World War Z.
yes, yes. And I'm just waiting for like this guy to run out and start chasing me.
Yeah.
Anyway, brother, hey, thanks so much. I appreciate it. And I guess I'll see you on our next weekly call.
All right, bro. I appreciate it, man. Stay safe.